Hey everybody, EastPhilly here. Today I'm going to be doing a little video, kind of an exploratory video. Exploratory video of my hood latch. So, one of the problems I have with this car that came with the car. When I pop the hood to check the oil or doing anything under the hood, when I close the hood it doesn't always latch right away. I had to kind of fuddle with the latch and then it will latch up and actually lock. So here's showing you exactly what happens. So you use a little thing to push the hood up. Here's the latch, and when I close the hood, it still stays up. I can try to close it a couple times, it doesn't work. So I'm going to take this center piece off of here, go in there and see if I can just clean it up a bit and get it working again. To do this, I'm just going to bring the hood up. I'm going to use a little dinger, put that in there, like that, keeps the hood up, and everything is problem right here. So let's bring you around. In here, this isn't the problem here, that just lets you pick the hood up. The problem is inside there. The problem is inside of here. You can see there's some wires and latches and stuff, and it's a little beat up in there. So I'm going to see if I can undo these bolts. 1, 2, and there's one down the bottom there. Let's see if you can see that. Not really from that angle, no. But to get in there, I'm going to pop these 2 brackets off to let me take this out, and I'm going to try to get into it from down there. Hopefully that's all I'll need to do, and if I can't get it to work, I'll just buy a new one. So to get in here, we're going to be doing these little pieces here. Hopefully that's all I need. Just get under there, pop it up, and it pops right out and onto the floor, just like every other thing that we try to take off of this car. Put those aside where I'll remember where they are. Put them in the drawer there just in case I forget later. And I don't know how this comes off, if it just comes right out. Probably going to watch a video. I think there's little clips on the side in here that I just had to push in. I'm using this little plastic spudger here to try to get it to it. You know, all these clips are a little old and grimy. I'm going to see if I can clean them up a bit, but I am going to be ordering a whole new set of clips for when I do some more work on the car. And then if anything breaks, I won't be too worried about it. Right now I'm just worried about something breaking and me not being able to fix it. So now this whole thing is loose, I can maybe reach in there and get some of these tabs. So of course, as soon as I turned the camera off, I was able to get in here. This lets me access things like the horn, the whole assembly for the hood latch, and whatever this thing is. So I'm going to take this whole thing out, and I'm going to spray it down and clean it, and then I'm going to reinstall it and see what we can do. Under here is the wire that attaches to the latch. If that ever broke, I can always get in here to unlatch the hood. It'd be kind of hard since I wouldn't be able to unhook the hood to get to it, but I'm going to see what I can do with all of this. So inside here, where it's a 12mm socket, in order to get these bolts up top. It's probably easier to do this with the whole hood off, but I'm seeing what I can do without doing that. And down here is also 12mm. While I'm doing that, I'm going to remove the horn some point I probably will replace the actual horns. I just got really dirty water all over my jacket. Let's see if I have enough space to use my new tool. This little Milwaukee electric ratchet. Probably not. Oh, would have worked if I went the right way, huh? For someone like myself who plans on doing a lot of DIY, this thing is great. And of course I dropped something. Here's the horn. Let's try not to drop that one too. And now we can actually get into this. I didn't actually get to unscrew that piece. So once you get into here, you can see this is the wire, maybe you can see it. You can see the wire for the hood latch is right here. That goes into here. This comes out, pops open, and that comes around the back. I was wondering what that was. You can't actually see what I'm doing. So this little nib there is the wire, what holds the wire at least. The thing that looks like it has a spider on it, that's just dust. That holds the wire in right there. I'm trying to move that so that I can take the whole piece out, because that's the only thing holding it in right now. I know as soon as I turn the camera off I'll get it, so I'm going to do that. Here we go. I got the latch assembly out and the locking mechanism. I'm just going to clean it up, spray some WD-40 over it, kind of wash it up a bit, and I'll replace it and see if we actually got anything done. So it seems like this piece here is the culprit. You can see it's kind of bent and elongated right there. The problem is you can't really just buy that one piece, even how simple it is. You have to buy the whole mechanism, so I'm going to see if I can just kind of flex it enough to work for now. And the piece isn't that expensive. I already found it online, and I'm going to order it anyway just to have a new piece for the whole latch. And I might order some other pieces that I'll use while I'm down here inside the hood and install them as well. But for now, at least I know what's wrong. What I've decided to do for now is actually put that part in my brass tumbler. That's a dry tumbler. It's going to push this crushed walnut media all around the part. Hopefully that gets in there and cleans up some of the rough spots that I couldn't get to, because everything's kind of like pushed into place and you can't really do much about it. So I'm going to let that run, and I'm going to clean more of that area in there. I'm going to check the fluids for my car, and in about half an hour I'll come back to this and see how well it cleaned, and then reinstall everything. Okay, so we have everything cleaned off, everything open down here. I kind of wiped everything down on the inside. Now I'm going to go through my bolts, figure out which one was for the horn. It is actually the shortest bolt of them, and I'm going to just get that loosely attached. And actually, before I do that, I'm going to get some of this grease that I have. Probably can't see it too well. It's from, it doesn't actually say, UCWG, or UCWRG, Umbrella Corps Weapons Research Group. It's actually a grease that I use for a lot of my gun stuff, and I'm going to put some of that on all the bolts so that they don't seize up later on, especially now that they're clean and nice. Just something a little extra. You don't have to do this if you don't want to. I do it because it's nice to do to stuff, And it's nice when you're trying to put things back together later on or take them off. Keeps everything together. So that's the horn. Let's get that in there for now. Don't need to fully tighten it. Next I need to get this cable and get that under this little piece here that you can't actually see me doing, but I got it under there a lot easier than when I was trying to get it off. Flip everything over, get the latch under and right back into place, and it's one of those times where getting everything back together is a lot easier than taking it apart. Again, I got my 3 bolts. I'm going to put some grease on all of them, because if this doesn't work, I'm going to have to be taking this all apart again to put on the whole new system, a whole new locking mechanism, and this will just make it a little bit easier to get everything apart. Not that there's going to be a lot of time in between, but it's still good to do anyway. Also, I don't know if the new locking mechanism, if I need it, will even come with the bolts, or if I'm going to have to reuse these bolts. If I have to reuse them, it's nice to know that they're now a little bit more taken care of. That last one right in there, line it up. And then I'm going to use that same power tool, except I don't remember, there it is, to tighten them all down, because it doesn't put as much torque as me hand tightening it. Just to slow it all down. And there we go. So now I'm going to bring the hood down and see if it closes up correctly. Now that we have everything back together, I'm not going to worry about the trim pieces right now. I'm just going to bring the hood down and I'm going to see if it locks correctly. If it does, I'll just open it and I'll put everything back together. Oh, there it goes. Let's give it one more try to make sure it's correct. And make sure I actually put everything back together correctly. It's good that I didn't put the trim back, because if I had not put it back together correctly and the latch on the inside didn't actually let the hood pop up again, then I would have some trouble getting this back open. So let's, and there we go. I just fixed the hood latch on my 2007 WRX. Now that the latch is fixed, which is very nice, it makes it a lot less of a headache for me doing work in there. I'm going to put back all of the little trim pieces, starting from the outside in. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 that go along the top here, then 2 that are here when I put the front piece in. The outer 2 on the 6 were 2 that have only 2 notches in it, one up top there and then that one there. That's how you can remember which ones they are. And they just push in. Again, these little pieces are a little old, so they're being a little stubborn, but you can kind of manhandle them in. And once you do, you just pop them back into place. These 2 are just popping right back in nicely, which is nice because they didn't want to come out correctly. And then, here it is. I have my front grill piece. Make sure everything's correct there. That should just pop right in. There were 4 clips there, so I just made sure, hit right at each one of them, make sure it's popped in correctly. And then there's 2 clips up top They were these smaller clips. Looks like, don't know if they broke or not. They only have one little spot each. But like I said, I'm buying a whole new clip system. Yeah, they definitely broke. Not a big deal, they're still staying in, but I bought all new clips for a lot of this stuff just in case something like that happened. I'm not worried about this coming off on the highway, even though these two probably aren't really doing much right now. It's holding in a little bit. And then everything's good. I checked the oil. When I had everything out, I checked the washer fluid for the windshield washer. That's the only two things I really can do right now because that's the only things I have access to remedying. I put a new air filter in when I did a cop tune. And then we're just going to do one more check. I know some people don't like the idea of just letting it slam like that, but that's how it's usually going to be done. Locks up nice and tight. Good to go. So there we have it, folks. I accidentally, sort of on purpose, fixed the hood latch on my 2007 WRX. I went in there just to see if I could even access it from the front there. Took it apart, put it through the dry tumbler, put the bolts through the dry tumbler, kind of just looked around and cleaned up a bit while I was in there. And when I put it back, everything worked. Most likely I'm still going to buy a new piece to put in there, just because this one is old. And it was nice for me to actually go in there and mess with that, because now I know that I can do stuff like that. I've never tried doing something like that before. I looked at some videos for how to replace it. I looked at videos on how to remove the front bumper. You don't have to remove the front bumper just to get to that piece, which is nice. But now I know. And later on I'm probably going to replace the horns. And now I know that I don't have to remove the whole front bumper just to get to those either, which is very nice. Yes, but thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it helps some of you in the future. Hopefully you don't have to go through this problem. But if you do, now you have a way to fix it and see what I did. I came out of this without bleeding. Scratched myself a little bit, that's about it. But that's pretty good. If you liked the video, give it a like. If you disliked the video, give it a dislike. And if you did dislike it, please let me know in the comments down below why, so I can make this channel better for both you and me. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time.